My father taught me to drive decades ago. I remember one moment when I rounded a corner too fast and almost hit an oncoming car. After we pulled over, he gave me an important lesson. He said that he noticed I was focusing all my attention on the ground in front of the car. And he instructed me to look up and take in the big picture, the closing distance between me and the corner, and the other vehicles and pedestrians and rolling balls and animals and everything all around me. It's not just you and the road, he said. You are not alone. How might our readings today help us to look up and take in the big picture? What are the important lessons here as we try to make our way on this road of life with its twists and turns? The continued ongoing spread of virus, political unrest, racial division, the climate crisis. How are we to navigate this road? What are we to learn? When Paul wrote to the people of Thessalonica, everyone was focused on the second coming of Christ then. That was their context. They thought it would be imminent. And they pondered the possibility of the end of the world. And there they stood, facing all that was wrong with the world, all that caused them to wonder what is going on. And they held themselves steady, knowing that they were not alone. Just as we know, we are part of a community that has that same hope that the Creator has not given up on a promise for things to be better. And so here we come, week after week, to be reminded that others have this hope too. We are not alone. The people of Thessalonica weren't just passively waiting. According to our reading today, they were attending to the ways that they could use the teaching of Jesus. And they asked themselves, have we increased and abounded in love for one another and for all? Because that would strengthen our hearts to be blameless in holiness before our God. We profess a God who is filling us with the Holy Spirit so that we can be God with flesh on, not just for ourselves, but for those around us, because we are not alone. That passage from Jeremiah is short and mysterious, but it might be helpful to read just a couple sentences further where God promises this. If any of you could break my covenant with the day and my covenant with the night, so that night and day would not come at the appointed time, only then would my covenant with my servant David be broken. So God's fidelity to creation and God's fidelity to the promises God made to the people are equally strong. And so God fulfilled that promise by coming into the world as fully human. And God comes into the world in the future, whatever that brings. And also we pay attention to the surprising ways that God breaks into the now. God is our justice, says Jeremiah. God is our justice. We are not alone. And when Luke tells us to raise our heads and be vigilant, it's not just a passive thing. It's not that our only job is to raise our heads at the end and wait to be rescued. The people of God's response then and now is about love and holiness That's our call, to be a community of love and holiness. And Psalm 25 teaches us how to pray, because it's a prayer about giving ourselves to God and asking for enlightenment from God. Show your ways to me, O God. Teach me your paths. Keep me in the ways of your truth. All day long, I hope. And so, in these days, as we wait and prepare and hope for Christmas in a time that feels fraught with danger, we also turn to prayer to learn how to see God's presence in our daily life, to allow ourselves to be filled with the Holy Spirit and become God in flesh, to model our behavior after the teachings of Jesus, and to be assured that God is the one who has been and always will be and is now leading us into steadfast love. We are not alone.